social media, it's not just about the platforms themselves.
To the preservation of the national unity and democratic stability.
Water is life, water is an essential service, and we must have to carry out the residents.
Local communities are not only vital to the growth of society, but they also form the bedrock of humanitarian development.
Hello and welcome to The Reporter, a news and current affairs program that goes beyond the headlines, bringing reporters from the field to give first-hand accounts and in-depth analysis of unfolding issues, correspondents' perspectives, ensuring balance, credible and comprehensive storytelling. Welcome once again. I am Anieti Patrick. Let's start on the grounds of education. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, has inaugurated a high-level committee to oversee the equipping and operationalization of multi-purpose laboratories in selected public tertiary institutions across Nigeria. The inauguration ceremony took place at the TETFund boardroom in Abuja. Our education correspondent Priscilla Obasi now tells us more.
The committee is expected to develop a comprehensive technical roadmap for the procurement and installation of state-of-the-art laboratory equipment aimed at strengthening research infrastructure in Nigeria's tertiary education system. The initiative follows a recent allocation of 13 billion naira by the federal government, specifically earmarked for the establishment and furnishing of central multipurpose laboratories. At the inauguration, Executive Secretary of TETFund, Sonny Echono, said the project is designed to address long-standing gaps in research facilities and reduce the need for Nigerian scholars to travel abroad for specialized laboratory analysis.
For the records, the committee that recommended the establishment of these centers actually have a list of equipment recommended. But as we know, we are living in times of rapid obsolescence, and the technology field is very disruptive. There are also changes. Technology is impacting teaching and learning and research in more ways than we can imagine. So there is a need for a constant review.
Echono also noted that beyond infrastructure provision, the committee has been mandated to develop a sustainability framework for training laboratory technicians and ensuring proper maintenance of the equipment. The committee includes representatives from the National Universities Commission, National Board for Technical Education, the Federal Ministry of Education, as well as scholars and industry experts. Members of the committee have been tasked with conducting needs assessment across institutions, ensuring procurement meets international standards, and guiding distribution of equipment based on research specializations such as biotechnology, mechatronics, and renewable energy. The inauguration marks another step in ongoing efforts by TETFund and the federal government to modernize Nigeria's research ecosystem and strengthen the capacity of tertiary institutions to produce solutions that address national development challenges. Priscilla Obasi, reporting for Global Television News.
And joining me live in the studio to bring us up to speed on that report is Priscilla Obasi to give us a breakdown of what this laboratories means to the education system. Hello, Priscilla. It's good to have you join me.
Thank you very much. And
how's your day been?
Amazing, good.
All right, so let's quickly delve into this. With 13 billion naira allocated for this multi-purpose laboratories, will this TETFund initiative significantly reduce the need for Nigerians to or researchers rather to seek specialized lab services abroad?
Of course. For years, Nigerian universities have struggled with outdated laboratories. We have good educators, we have wonderful lecturers, but all we have is just knowledge, nowhere to practicalize. I was speaking with a lecturer some time back, and I was like, why not we have, or why don't we have, labs that are able to produce things? For example, you're in school studying biochemistry. You should have a lab that can give you creams, make creams, and even sell, and impute the funds back into the school. That way, all the incessant strikes that keep happening in the educational system would drastically be reduced. So we need functional labs, because people are innovative on their own. How much more when we create the right environment? So the enabling environment has always been a problem with our Nigerian universities. And with this, the quest for going abroad, to even go on school, I think it will drastically reduce, because you're able to practicalize what you have read. So
let me even bring this in right now. We also have the dichotomy issue that a lot of people go to tech-driven or tech innovation platforms like the Polytechnics, the School of Education, College of Education, and all of those things, but they're not labs to also facilitate the knowledge base. Yes, they have the practical illustration or demonstration of whatever they take into the brains and all that.
In theoretical.
The theoretical part of it.
Theoretical part of it.
But the practical aspect of it is one thing. So with this lab, does it find a balance for the students right now?
Absolutely. The problem now will be, how is it regulated? I hope we are not just bringing an initiative that nobody is checkmating. I hope we're not bringing an initiative that we don't have, a regulatory body, because it's one thing to bring it, it's another thing to ensure that there is proper maintenance, right? So I just hope that TETFund will put in the right structures to ensure that these facilities are maintained and everyone is a beneficiary. Of course, they've said it, they are putting so much funds into the system, about 13 billion naira or so, and
13 billion naira,
13 billion naira, and this is supposed to be a work. But I hope that as this initiative is taking place, they are also putting the right, maintenance structures to ensure that it is well maintained.
So while we're looking at maintenance structure, we're looking at effectively how the new committee will look at the issue of sustainability, transparency in bringing up this initiative. Just like you said, it is more of the maintenance culture that will give us that. I'm looking at sustainability, equitable distribution, and of making it the state of the art for Nigerians across all tertiary institutions. So how can this work out fine?
Well, it's basically about planning, right? When there's a will, they say there's a way. So the initiative is lauded. I really am happy about it, but they also, it's basically what I have been saying. They also, as they are trying to make this happen, they should also ensure that every Nigerian university, every polytechnic, everyone is a beneficiary. This is not just for our students alone. Lecturers can also benefit from this, because there are lecturers that when they're done with your school, they want to go for PhD, they have to travel abroad because they feel like that is a place where they can, have all the practicals, in their doctorates and all of that. So this benefits both our lecturers and every other person. So it's a beautiful one.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Priscilla Obasi, for bringing us up to speed on that. And we look forward to seeing more engagements play out for us. Thank you. Let's turn our focus and talk to you about other issues. The National Association of Unemployed Persons with Disabilities has accused the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, of marginalizing persons with disabilities in its recent employment process. Ubong Usoro tells us more.
Addressing journalists in Abuja, the group alleged that despite their statutory provision allocating at least 5% of public sector employment opportunities to persons with disabilities, they were excluded from consideration. The association referenced the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act, which mandates a minimum of 5% employment quota for persons living with disabilities in public organizations. They also cited Section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which prohibits discrimination on various grounds and guarantees equal protection.
We just came to ask for our rights, the rights of persons with disability. But unfortunately, on demanding for our rights was being trampled upon by the Chief Executive of NOSDRA, Nigeria Oil Spill Detecting Regulatory Agency, Engineer Chukwuemeka Nwoke. So when we came this morning, we are still interfacing with his staff.
The group further accused the Director General of NOSDRA, Chukwuemeka Nwoke, of attempting to intimidate members during their engagement with the agency.
Okay, I'm expecting the well-meaning Nigeria, the government, international organization to help us ask the DG what is our offense that he wished to run us off with his vehicle. Is it because he is privileged over us? This is the law. And all other agencies are obeying this law. The law is sacrosanct. 5%, just 5%. Just 5%. And we've been here since 2021.
Is it just NOSDRA or other?
All other agencies. Disability Rights Act of 2018. Yes.
However, a director at NOSDRA denied the allegations. The agency maintained that it did not conduct a fresh recruitment exercise, but rather carried out staff replacements, arguing that the 5% provision did not apply in that context. NOSDRA also alleged that some members of the group attempted to damage the Director General's vehicle during the confrontation. Efforts to reach the Director General of NOSDRA, Chukwuemeka Awoke, for further clarifications were unsuccessful as his phone lines were switched off at the time of filing this report. The association is now calling for independent investigation and strict enforcement of the 5% employment quota across all government agencies. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
And joining me live in the studio is Ubong Usoro to bring us up to speed, because I kept looking at the videos to understand why they were lined so helpless there in front of the gates. Ubong, it's good to have you join me on the report.
Thank you so much, Anita. Always a pleasure.
So I've been wondering, should government agencies like NOSDRA, that's the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, be compelled to strictly implement the 5% employment quota for persons with disability, or even in the case of staff replacements? With following what we just saw from your report that was aired right now.
Right, so I like to say this clear. This is still a developing story because I'm still investigating this particular report. But that being said, what happened is that if you look at the 2020 Disability Act as signed into law by the former President Muhammadu Buhari, the Constitution of Nigeria mandates that for every employment that is carried out by the Federal Civil Service, or that is Federal Civil Service, I'm talking about ministries, departments, agencies, and sometimes for our State House, they have to put out a mandatory 5% of that employment quota for people with disabilities. It is not, this is notwithstanding their qualifications, this is notwithstanding their capacity, but for inclusion, right? Because the government knows that if employment is open, most times people have bias or sentiments against people living with disabilities and may not give them this. So it is within our laws, the ambit of our laws, and all director generals, all ministers, all permanent secretaries, secretaries of commission, all of them who are leading one ministry, MDS, should know this, and I believe they do know this. So from what the people said, the unemployed people living with disabilities, they said they have degrees, they've gone to school, they're educated. So they're not just coming down to say, government help us because it is in the law. They are coming with something to offer. So they got information, they got wind of information that NOSDRA, which is a government agency, is carrying out a employment recruitment, and they got new staff. So they wrote to the organization. NOSDRA replied, the agency replied them and said, when we want to do
replacements or recruitments,
we will inform you. But the question is, when last did you hear any Nigerian agency come online and say we are doing recruitment?
So I was going to ask, from what we saw, from what happened there, were you able to get to speak to somebody from the agency, that's NOSDRA, to talk to us on these issues that we saw? Because this looked very appalling to see them looking like they were being marginalized or mistreated, from what we saw from the video clips there.
Right, so yes, I spoke with somebody from the agency. I spoke with the director in the agency, director of operations management, who pleaded with us that he was not authorized to speak on camera. So he narrated their own side, that the agency, what the agency did was replacement and not recruitment per se. Just needed to replace some few persons And the agency also revealed to the people with disabilities that when they want to do replacement, they will inform.
Okay.
When they want to do recruitment, they will inform
officially
them.
let them
Yes,
know.
Yes, so they could get their quota as prescribed by the law. But it was just replacement, and that was what they did.
So if it was a replacement, this has to be like a specific number. It couldn't have been a general thing, because this population looks a bit more for a replacement. So what's the figure? Do you have an idea of the number of people that were needed for this replacement or the positions?
No, I do not, because I've been trying to speak with the Director General of Nostra, Emeka Nwoke, who I have been calling him since morning. I've done different calls. And he has texted me, please text me about twice. And I've texted him both on direct message. I've also texted him on, other messages.
Platforms.
Yeah, platforms. But he's not responded to that message yet. Because I wanted to give him right of reply before we go ahead to escalate, because what they alleged was that he ordered somebody, his driver, to run his car
over them?
Into them. Yes, that was the allegation.
Oh, okay.
From Okoli, who's the president of unemployed people living with disabilities.
Are you serious?
But when I spoke with the director said they, unemployed people living with disabilities, destroyed the DG's car. So I wanted to get the balance from the DG himself, who
would have given you clarification to all this thing.
Busying the calls and send me messages that I should text him. I've texted him and he's not giving me right of reply. But like we do, after 24 hours, we've tried our best. We'll go ahead and make sure that this story, something must be done about.
Okay, because we need to do this is a developing story, so we need to keep tabs. We need to follow up to ensure that we get the balance from both sides. Because I'm looking at the fact that it shows a lot of marginalization. If you're saying you're doing a replacement, from what you gathered from them, these people should be treated properly to probably get a seat if they were invited. I'm just saying if. No, I'm saying if. Right. I didn't say they were. I'm saying if they were invited, they should have been treated well.
No, they got wind of the information.
But it was a wind of information they got, yes.
And they came on their own. And they came all across Nigeria. From different states.
So we need to get this right, get the proper information from the director and understand how this can be properly treated, because this cannot be what we should see for persons living with disability, and also in line with the compliance or the discrimination of against persons with disability, in line with the constitutional provisions for these persons, and also the workers' rights to the 5%. So we look forward to more engaging and development to the story from you, Ubong. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. Well, that's it from Ubong. Let's turn our focus and look at what's happening on infrastructure. The federal government has intensified efforts to rehabilitate critical road infrastructure in Adamawa State as part of ongoing interventions under the Renewed Hope agenda. Officials from the Federal Ministry of Works commissioned completed projects and inspected major ongoing roadworks across the state. Kabir Hassan tells us more.
The project, originally awarded in 2017 at a cost of 9 billion naira, has undergone several adjustments due to changes in scope, inflation, and engineering modification. The contract sum now stands at 43 billion naira. As top on the list is the Cham-Numan section of the Gombe-Yola Road, a vital corridor linking Gombe and Adamawa states. Briefing journalists, the Federal Controller of Works in Adamawa, Engineer Dimas Tuwei, described the road as an economic lifeline that has suffered years of neglect.
The idea about this emergency strokes special intervention projects came to be immediately after the inception of this government. What brought it was the quantum of projects inherited by this administration. They were up to over 2,000 projects inherited. Overhang of over 13 trillion naira. So the government of the day thought it wise to prioritize those areas that are critically felt, and motorists were having issues to make them more durable so that Nigeria will have seamless travel.
The contractor, CGC Nigeria Limited, also reaffirmed its commitment to completing the project, assuring that work is progressing steadily. Meanwhile, another intervention, the Jabi-Labba Road, has reached about 40% completion and is expected to be delivered within the next 3 months or 4. Engineering bodies in the state expressed satisfaction with the quality of execution. As part of the visit, The team also commissioned the rehabilitated doctor's quarters in Yola, a project aimed at reducing flooding and improve access in the area. Officials say the project formed part of over 200 emergency and special intervention works nationwide, aimed at improving connectivity, boosting economic activities, and enhancing living conditions. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
And joining me right now is Kabir Hassan to bring us up to speed on this particular report. Hello, Kabir. It's good to have you join me on The Reporter. Hello, Kabir.
Hello.
Okay, so while we're trying to get Kabir to join me and bring us up to speed on this particular issue, we've seen that the road network there is a whole lot and is happening across the Gombe-Yola road. I'm told Kabir is there. Hello, Kabir.
Yes, hello, I can hear you.
Okay, amazing. So with the Cham-Noma section of the Gombe-Yola road now costing 43 billion naira after multiple revisions, do you think the federal government's road rehabilitation efforts under the Renewed Hope agenda are delivering value for money in Adamawa State there, Kabir?
Yes, they are, because based on videos you have seen on the internet, and we went there and saw everything is going well, and the contractors are handling the project very well. For that amount they were given, because it's a road that has suffered years of neglect. The road was awarded in 2017. That's around 10 years ago now, and the road has not been good. Because even commuters of the road have been saying the road has been good, but under this Renewed Hope agenda, people are now getting rehabilitation of federal government roads, and this, I can tell that this is a for money project.
Kabir, I need you to see me. I want to see you, speak to me and understand. Can I see you on the video? Basically, because I don't know, I'm hearing just your voice. I need to see you, talk to you on this issue if you can hear me clearly, so I understand you properly, Kabir. So we'll look at the issue as over 200 emergency road projects are being implemented nationwide. How much impact do you believe these interventions will have on economic growth and daily life in the communities like Yola and beyond? Because of course, this has to do with community-based people seeing the road network work for them, Kabir.
Hello. Hello.
Please go ahead.
Well, I've not heard your question.
Kabir, I'm asking, I said this has to do with over 200 emergency roads. This is an emergency of over 200 roads projects, and they are being implemented nationwide right now. How much impact do you believe these interventions will have on economic growth and daily life in communities like Yola and beyond?
Yes, these projects will be of economic impact to, let's say, our traders that live in the rural areas. They can have access to good roads, which they can bring out their goods from the farm to the city for economic growth, for marketing and all those things. And looking at it will help an easier move within the city from one city to another in terms of easy traffic around the corridor of the country entirely.
All right, Kabir, I see that this has to do with, from your perspective, it also help farmers and also convey their goods, because of course, access road to markets will also help with good production and also post-production and also get them to see them. But I'm talking about the motorists now. Let's look at the motorists, those who ply the road on a daily to source their daily life, aside the farmers. This intervention, of course, we see that it's going to boost economic income for people. critical, and also is also standing in line with the government's rehabilitation efforts under the Renewed Hope agenda. So what's this for you compared to other states? Because of course this is happening between the axis of Gombe and Yola road network. That's what I want to get us clear to understand for the road pliers, the communities themselves.
These road projects are entirely nationwide. So the projects, looking at them, looking at people who access the roads daily. Let's say, for example, you are traveling from Bauchi to Gombe or Gombe to Yola. The roads are actually not good due to the bad road. But now the intervention, when the road is done, you can be having access to the roads easily with no traffic, no slowdown, no hold up. You can reach their destination within a short period of time.
Thank you so much, Kabir Hassan, for coming through on the program. We look forward to seeing more of this play out for other states beyond just Gombe and Yola. Well, it's been an amazing time speaking with our correspondents from the field on the basic issues from infrastructure to education and also the issue of inclusivity among citizens. Well, that's it on the program. Thank you for staying with us on The Reporter. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. To stay connected, kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG. Until the next time, I am Anieti Patrick. Thank you for watching.
Be mindful of how we use social media. It's not just about the platforms themselves.
To the preservation of the national unity and democratic stability.
Water is life, water is an essential service, and we must have to carry out the residents.
Local communities are not only vital to the growth of society, but they also form the bedrock of humanitarian development.